Hello everyone, good day. In this video, we are going to see the demo on how to create a PVC using local storage system and how to mount the same within a pod. If you like this video, please subscribe to vSpark's channel and click the bell icon for the latest updates. This is the agenda of this video. We are going to perform these steps in this video. This is going to be the architecture diagram for our demo. First, we'll be creating a pool of PVs using the local storage system of the worker nodes. These PVs are created manually and hence the provisioning is called as static provisioning. When we are using the local storage, it is mandated to specify the node affinity constraints for your PVs so that the PVs will be created in the appropriate node's storage system. Once the PVs are created, we will be creating persistent volume claims, that is PVCs. Based on the properties of the PVC request, these PVCs will get bounded to the appropriate PVs. Then we will be consuming this PVC by creating pods and mounting the PVCs within the pods as a usable volume. Finally, we'll be creating some data within the pod and we will check that the data created by the pod will be persisted or saved in the underlying storage. Now let us see the demo. Step number 1. Access and inspect the Kubernetes cluster. Access the Kubernetes cluster using Kubectl utility and check if the Kubernetes cluster is running properly. This is the master machine where we have installed the Kubectl utility and connected to the Kubernetes cluster. Kubectl cluster info command gives the details of your cluster. Now check the nodes. Our cluster is running with one master and two worker nodes. Now check the pods in the kube system namespace. Yeah, all the cluster components are running properly. Step number 2. Create persistent volumes using local storage system. This is going to be static provisioning mode. Here we are going to create two PVCs, that is PVC-1 in worker node number 1 and PVC-2 in worker node number 2 in the respective directories. Ideally, these directories in the worker nodes is our volumes. Just to save the time, I have consolidated all the commands and the YAML manifest in a notepad and the same is available in the video description. Let us first create the local directories in the worker nodes. Here I am creating the directory PVC-1 in worker node number 1. Similarly, I am going to create the directory PVC-2 in worker node number 2. Now let us create PV1 and PV2 using YAML manifest. If you don't know how to create these YAML files, please refer to the previous videos. This is a sample YAML manifest for creating a PV using local storage system. In this PV definition, we can see that the capacity is 1 GB. The local storage is a directory which we have created already in the worker nodes. Node affinity is a mandatory field when we are using local storage. This node affinity field tells us that the persistent volume and its data will be created in worker node number 1. That too under the path /PV/PV-1. Let us use this definition to create PV1. So we are going to create PV1 with the access mode as read write many. Similar to PV1 definition, create PV2 definition file but tweak the properties of PV2 as per our architecture diagram. In this case, PV2 will be created with read write once access mode and with a 2 GB capacity. Also, PV2 will be using the storage from worker node number 2. Now apply the definitions to create the PVs. Now we can see that the PVs are created. Step number 3, create persistent volume claims. In this step, we are going to create two persistent volume claims, that is PVC-1 and PVC-2. Make sure PVC1 is bounded with PV1 and PVC2 is bounded with PV2. Now let us create the PVC YAML definitions. Make sure to tweak the parameters of PVC1 so that PVC1 should get bounded to PV1. Now we can see PVC1 is created and we can see that PVC1 is bounded to PV1. This is because the requested capacity is 1 GB and the access mode is read write many, which is exactly matching with PV-1. In the same way, try to create PVC-2 and that should get bounded to PV-2. Now we can see PVC2 is created. Also we can see PVC2 is bounded with PV-2. Step 4. Create pods and mount the persistent volume claims within the pod as volumes. In this step, we will be creating two pods, that is pod 1 with PVC1 mounted as a volume and pod 2 with PVC2 mounted as a volume. This is a sample pod YAML definition. Let us create pod 1 now. We can see that the pod's volume is defined and its name is myVolume-1. Its source is persistent volume claim and the claim name is PVC-1. We need to mount this volume in the containers file system with the help of volume mount options. Here the name that we are mentioning within the containers field should be equal to the pod's volume name. The volume mount path is user local Apache 2 HC docs. So whatever the data that is created in the container mount path is directly stored in the persistent volume. The container image is HTTPD, which is an Apache web server. Now create pod 1. Similar to pod 1, try to create pod number 2, which is going to use persistent volume claim 2. Also to note, we can choose any of the file system path that is present in the container image by default. Now pod 2 is also created. We can see that pod 1 is scheduled in worker node number 1 and pod 2 is scheduled in worker node number 2. This is because of node affinity constraints we defined in the persistent volumes. Step number 5, create some data within the pods and check the data persistence. Here we are going to create a test data within the pods. For time being, we are creating a simple HTML page in both the pods. So this HTML page will be persisted in the underlying storage. Even after the lifecycle of a pod, this data will be still available under the hoods. That too under these directories. Let us wait until pod 2 is running. Now pod 2 is running. Just exit into the pods and create the HTML file using echo command. Now we are into the pod 1's terminal. So this is the path we have used as a volume mount path within the container. So within this path, create the index.html file. Now we have created the HTML file in pod number 1. Check the same in the underlying storage. Pod 1 is scheduled in worker node number 1 and hence check the underlying storage in worker node number 1. So this is worker node number 1. Check under /pv/pv-1. Yeah, we can see the same index.html file. So this is the same file which we have created from pod number 1. Similarly, exit into pod number 2 and create the HTML file. Now the index.html file is created. Cross-check the same in the underlying storage and it should be in worker node number 2. Yeah, we can see the same index.html file which we have created from pod number 2. Step number 6, delete pod number 2 and create pod number 3 with pod 2's PVC claim. Since pod 3 is using the pod 2's claim, the data created by pod 2 is still be available to pod number 3. Let us try the same. Now delete pod number 2. Pod 2 is deleted now. Try to create pod number 3. Here we are using the same claim name which was used by pod number 2. Now pod number 3 is created. Just exit into pod 3 and check for the data created by pod number 2. Yeah, we can see the same data index.html file that was created by pod number 2. Well, that's it for this lecture. Thank you from vSparks and thank you for watching this video.